There we go. Hopefully we can all see the presentation I have today. Essentially, yeah, it's just about just studying tips about how we can study at RMIT, some things that I've learned along the way that have helped me to study and pay attention in class and getting assignments in on time and everything. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy. I just wanted to start off with an acknowledgement to country first. And say that I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land that I live, raise, study, and work on. I pay my deepest respects to the elders, past, present, and their future generations, who will let their memories, traditions, culture, and the hope of their people live on. So this is my presentation, just studying tips and just general advice on things that can help make studying a little bit easier. The first one that we've got is to find a study space. So what I've learned is to sort of look for places that will avoid, general noise or distractions. A place that's a little bit more quiet, like somewhere that feels like it's your own and you can feel comfortable and feel, safe in, somewhere that will make you feel motivated to study. So I feel like with the next dot point here is to find a space that is comfortable for you, not your bed. So what I've learned is not to, study on your bed. When you think about it, you're associating your bed where you sleep and where you lay to rest. You don't really want to associate that with studying, where you have to focus and pay attention to what you're doing. So I find that if you have a desk in front of you, or maybe a kitchen table or a bench, and in the 4 images that I've got below, these are the sort of options, or just some of the places where you can study, like the room, the library, study room. So the second one and the third one are actually from RMIT. Those are actually real places that are in the city campus that we use. The one and the third, the study rooms, I've been there a few times and it's pretty convenient because it's got heaps of charger portables, and it's really quiet. It's really secluded to the library as well, so there's not much noise or anything like that. And with the desk, I've actually got one as well. It's helped me while studying. When you're studying, you want to find a place that really works for you and feels comfortable and won't distract you from what you're doing. So I feel like when it comes to study spaces, you want to find somewhere that works for you and somewhere that you can use in the long term that won't, that will benefit you in the end. So yeah, that's number 2. That's supposed to say is a to-do list. So what I've found is that when you're breaking things, when you're breaking your assessments down into smaller segments or smaller parts, it's easier to keep track on what you're doing instead of having a huge list of these overwhelming things of what you need to get done, instead of, for example, if you're writing complete assessment task 5, it's not really telling yourself what you need to do and how much you need to get done. So what I like to do is either break it up into 5 questions and do a checklist or something. So that way, if you say, for this first checklist, you say, complete question 1, and then once you've done that, then you can just tick that off, and then you feel a little bit more accomplished. And once you're getting work done, you kind of get in the loop, in the roll of things. So yeah, it really helps you to keep moving and keep working on your studies. The third image on the right is actually what my planner looks like. That's a photo that I took today. And that's sort of what my to-do list kind of looks like. In the third dot point, it does say to keep it brief. So I used my own planner as a reference of sort of what not to do, because it does look a little bit overwhelming. And it was hard to keep track of things that I needed to get done, especially if I didn't do them the day that I said I would. It just builds up. So you want to keep it brief, maybe keep it under maybe 10 to 15 like checkpoints or dot points of what you need to get done. Once those are done, then move on and do the next one. These are what's helped me in the past, and hopefully yeah, they work for some of you. The next one, tip 3, so is to create a reward system. What I've found, again, this is based on my own personal experience, so I hope what I'm saying helps you in a way, or a way that you can sort of interpret and make it into your own. But these are sort of like the general things of what I found that works for me. And so what I've found is creating a reward system. So usually how I'll study, I'll make, you know, short or long-term goals that'll either be to finish off an assessment, get it done on time. My long-term goal could be to work on my time management, or to do all my things early, submit assessments early, try to get, you know, be prepared the day before, or the day or a few days before the assessments is due. That could be a long-term goal of mine, but essentially what you want to do, I've put it into like a step-by-step process. And so the next one is to be mindful of, you know, sort of habits or barriers that could delay you from submitting things in on time or from reaching your goal. Like I said just before, like in terms of long and short-term goals, you want to be mindful of what habits you tend to do when you're like doing a task or completing something that you wanted to do, you know, the day before or something like that. For me, I'm a really big procrastinator. So every time I study, I get really distracted really easily. So when I say be mindful, I mean making sure that you are aware of it. This also comes with self-awareness, but you want to try to be aware of what certain things that will distract you from doing your work. And to do that, you want to kind of set yourself away from those distractions. And when you're mindful of it, then then it's easier for you to pick up on it and then stop yourself from, you know, diving into that whole procrastination and then getting really distracted, because that's personally what I do a lot. And so if you're mindful of that, then it should be a lot more easier for you to study. And so the next one would be obviously to study. And so once you've done that, you want to also be proud and celebrate your successes. You know, if you've been working hard for an hour, then it's easy for you to, you know, be proud of the moment and you know, be really grateful of how well you were able to pay attention. It really comes with a lot of I'd say self-respect. I'd say, you know, if you're doing something for yourself and it's helping you, it helps if you really pay attention to that and you thank yourself for it. That way it reinforces that behavior where you do something good, and then you get a reward. A reward could be something as simple as you know, maybe food that you like, or taking a break, doing something that you love once you're done. Yeah, and so it really encourages these positive habits and behaviors that will hopefully help studying and make it sort of easier for you to, you know, stay focused. Yeah, get things done. The next one is to plan your study timetable. And what I mean by this is to sort of break it into times of what you're going to do and when. So say I want to complete 10 questions from 9:30 to 10:30. That's what I mean by plan it. So when you're doing that, you set a specific time for when you're going to work, specific time when you're going to like take a break or do anything else. It doesn't always have to be study related. It could be, you know, you'll work for the first hour of the morning and then you can take a break for half an hour, go back to it, or even just or even maybe just going for a walk. It really depends on you and what you're feeling like. You know, you can add some time for lunch as well. And so once you have the times of that, like if I say I'm going to do it at 10:30, then when it gets to that time, then you know what to do and when to stop yourself. So on those lunch breaks, they can be for myself, I tend to make them drag on a little bit longer when I'm not really feeling up to going back to work and studying. What I do is to set specific times of when you're going to rest and when you're going to work. And yeah, I found that really helps for me. So hopefully it works for anyone as well. Moving on, if you're stuck. So a trap that I've done a lot is to spend, I'd say, probably 45 minutes on the same question. And in the end, it doesn't really help because if you're spending that much time on the question and you haven't really got much done, it doesn't really help you as much as other than if you were to move on to the next question, get probably 3 questions done in the same time that you've been stuck on the same question. It really helps if you just move on and then come back to it. So yeah, don't stay on the question for more than an hour. I think that's a little bit dramatic. Oh, not dramatic. Over exaggerated. I'd say more than 45 minutes. If you haven't made any progress, that's when I'd say just to move on and hopefully go to the next one, and then hopefully get it a lot more faster, and then you can come back to that one. Something to note as well would be to type notes. You find that question a little bit hard to answer. Just type notes on why you think why it's confusing you, or what sort of part of the question that you don't understand. That way it makes it easier for you when to ask for help. You can ask your teachers or someone else in class. And yeah, that makes it easier for you to remember what you needed help with specifically. And then yeah, it would be a lot more easier if you knew what you needed help with, and then it would be easier to move on and go to the next question. Next one, take productive breaks. So what I do a lot is I tend to, when I'm on breaks, like if I'm studying for, I'd say 20 minutes maybe, I'd think that deserves like a half an hour break, and then I really wouldn't do anything much other than going on my phone. So the first image on the left is definitely me, and it's definitely a habit that I need to get out of because it's not really productive when you think about it. If you're doing this much work and you're spending this much time on your phone, it doesn't really make up for how much work you're actually getting in. If you're spending all that time on your phone, makes it easier for you to just stay distracted and procrastinate when you're doing that. So taking productive breaks, I mean, just going out for walks, doing something that you feel like will help motivate you to keep going and to keep studying. I feel like it really works for me if you're putting in time to do something productive and will help motivate and stimulate your mind instead of going on your phone, because that's definitely something I do a lot, if I have to admit. But yeah, just something small, something to treat yourself in, will really motivate you to keep working. One I have is the Pomodoro technique. So this is something that I've used a few times. It works for me, if I'm honest, because for those who haven't really heard of it, it's basically like think of it as like, I think of it as an alarm. So what I do is I'll set like a 25-minute period where I'm studying, and then like a 10-minute period of when I'm resting, or maybe like a 5-minute when I'm resting. And so what I do, this is sort of just a screen recording of what I do when to help me study. So if you think about it, if you're studying for 25 minutes and then you rest for 5, and then you do that process 4 times, it actually adds up to 2 hours. So this is just a screen recording of what I search and what I personally watch to help me study. And hopefully it works for some of you. Hopefully I explained it a little bit. I just explained it briefly, but it's basically just a sort of, think of it as sort of like a system where you're working, where you're studying, you're focused, and then you take a break. When you study, you're working, and then you break. It's mainly just, it's just a system of, and sort of a technique that can help you study for longer and keep your mind engaged. Next one is to find your learning style. For me, I would say I'm a combination of learning and logical learning. I'd say in terms of visual, I like to use like cue cards or like mind maps or something like that, or that, is more intriguing and that keeps me interested in looking at, that helps me personally. And with logical, I'd say writing notes, taking notes during class, just things that require you to write and read. I think that really helps for you. And so the benefits of knowing your learning style is to see what way and what methods that you use to process your information. And it's all like different for every person. It's not all the same for one person. You could be a logical learner and also a social learner, where you like to work with other people and in a social environment that really helps you to process information a little bit better. I'm a little bit like that as well, but again, everyone's different. Not everyone is all the same. So information will all process in our minds a little bit differently to others. So I feel like when you're studying, it makes it a lot more easier when you know which way kind of works for you better, and how you learn and understand and process new information. Just finding something that works for you. The last one I have is to practice doing homework around someone who will motivate you. This is something I added last minute because when I'm studying, I find it really, really hard for me to pay attention and stay focused onto one thing. So, like, for example, if I'm working in my room by myself, I would easily just go on my phone, or if I've been studying for, I'd say, half an hour, I'd easily just go on my phone because it's so easy to fall into that trap, and then you kind of end up like staying on your phone as well for longer than you should, I'd say. So I feel like if there's someone around you that can help motivate you to study, or if you have a study partner or anything like that, usually to be honest, when I was doing this presentation, it helped me to be around my mum, who helps me to stay accountable when I lose focus, or when I'm on my phone, or if I'm looking out the window or doing something. She makes it easier for me to pick up on what I'm doing in the moment, and if I'm like not paying attention, or if I'm lacking focus, she'll help me pick up on that. And yeah, I found that if someone's there with you that can see you when you're not paying attention, or when you're doing something that you shouldn't be, it really helps to be around someone that really helps you to stay on track and keep going, I feel like. So this is the end of my presentation. Where to go for extra support, we can go to I'm sure we're all aware by now about RMIT Connect. These are the contact details and when they're open. Just the small recording on at the bottom there. It's the same as RMIT Connect. It's more self-directed though, so I've sort of included a visual representation of how to do it if someone's I'm not really sure. Really easy. You just go to contact RMIT and then it will forward you to the next page on where you can get help and what services that are more suited for you depending on your question and inquiries about anything about RMIT. Father, I hope you don't mind I added your email at the top there for just extra help on or questions about KSA RMIT. My email's also there for anyone who would be interested. Just like getting in contact, and I think it's really important to network as well. So feel free to email me if anyone has any questions about anything. But yeah, that was my presentation. Thank you for coming. I hope you all enjoyed it.
So, thank you, Jessie, and that's so great that you can create, and I'm sorry, you can offer to us 8 tips to do the study, and I think that many people can very value what you prepare for us. And I just have the one thing I think you want to share with us. So among all these tips, what is the most useful according to you, Jessie, as the experienced students you can share with us? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I'd say in terms of like learning techniques and different learning styles that we can use, something that I've picked up on is using I'll go back to it, it's the Pomodoro technique, and it's basically a system of how you can study, and it enables you to stay focused and pay attention to under like a specific time frame. So if you're studying for maybe 45 minutes, you put a timer on or do an alarm. Say you'll study for 45 minutes, and once the alarm goes off, that's when you can close your laptop, do something else, and just really take a break from everything. Depending on what you want to do in your break, I feel like it really helps, and especially because the time builds up as well. So if you're doing 45 minutes study and then you take a break for, let's say, 10 minutes and then another, and then once the 10 minutes is up, then you do like another 45 minutes. Altogether, it all adds up. And so, you know, I've found it hard to stay focused, and you don't really want to, no one ever really wants to study for like an hour or anything straight up. It gets really boring and repetitive, and I've definitely fallen into that trap of just, you know, trying to like say I'm studying, but then I'll be on my phone. So it kind of comes in waves. So you want to be mindful of your time and how you spend it. Yeah, and really just being mindful of your time and how you're really working and putting all that time together to really study and do your assignments. It helps a lot if you're wanting to get things done on time. Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone else uses it, but this is just the screen recording here is what I search to help me study when I'm doing it. So these are all just like different videos on what can help you, and yeah, hopefully that helps answer your question about it. Yeah, I'd say that one would be the most important for me. Thank you for everyone that coming though. Does anyone have any questions or anything? I'm happy to answer, but as I said, my email's in the last slide. I'll give Father the link to the presentation if needed, but yeah, if anyone needs to get in contact, it's just here, but feel free to get in contact. We're all available. And yeah. Was there anything else, Father? Did you have any other questions or anything? Word procrastination. Thank you, Eve, for the question. Types of word procrastination. Oh my gosh, it's so hard because I do this a lot. Like, I am very, very guilty of doing that a lot myself. Something I'd say. Did anything help? Did anything did you feel like anything in the presentation I felt really resonated with you, Ed? Sorry to put you on the spot. Yeah, did you feel like any of these helped a little bit? I'll answer your question. I just want to, if any of them did help, I'm just wanting to build on what I said. But, how to avoid procrastination? I would say to be mindful of your time. And so what I mean by that is if you feel like you can't keep working anymore, then think of, yeah, that's right. Think of the time when you feel like you can't do anymore. Look at the time and let you, okay, what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to explain how to be self-aware. And what I mean by that is if you feel like you can't study anymore or you're just losing focus, look at the time. Allow yourself to go through your normal habits of, going through your phone or doing something that's not what you're supposed to be doing, like doing assignments or anything. See how long it takes for you to come back. And so if it took, I'd say maybe 30 minutes or anything, then you know how much time you're spending that you could be doing something else. So to sort of avoid that, once you're aware of it, then you know how much time that you're that I'll put in my perspective that I've wasted. And so how to avoid it? I'd probably say maybe to have someone around you where they can help you be accountable for procrastinating or for losing focus. Like I said in the last slide, I'm not sure if you picked up on it, but I said having someone that helps motivate you to study around you, being around those sort of types of people, I feel like it really helps me personally when I have my mum around to
Hai Nam. Nam xem là tình hình ở bên đó là sao Nam?
Okay. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Sorry, my laptop died. Oh, that was such bad timing. Um, sorry, Ed, did I answer your question?
Yeah, he left already, Jesse. It's okay.
Oh,
It's okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
No worry. No, this is sorry. So, Jesse, thank you so much for today. And yeah, you so confident in sharing that. Very good. Very good.
Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you so much for your time and prepare um yeah
Thank
the
you.
topic for today. And yeah, love to see you back. And
Yeah.
also hopefully and next week we can start with Marion or you Judith again.
Mm.
Oh
Yeah, I
you
don't.
yeah
Well, yeah, I feel like I kind of like this experience. So I don't
yeah
mind if she wants me to help. I'm happy to. But she did offer to help me, but felt like I was ready to just do it and get it out the way. So
okay. So thank you so much for today, and that's so great. Yeah, very careful prepare for today, and with the 8 tips is so great for us. And are you happy to for us to post on the Facebook and YouTube?
yeah, sure. I don't mind.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much. And yeah, see you at same yeah, I think the same time next week at 7:30.
Yeah.
And thank you, Jesse. You deserve to relax now. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you
Thank you
for
so much. Thank you.
nice
Thank you. Bye
night.
bye. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.